I cut myself off again in this reading from chapter 5, section 6. So this is the part 2, and I'll just overlap a little bit. I left off on paragraph 10, so I'll just read that one again. You need not fear the higher court will condemn you. It will merely dismiss the case against you. There can be no case against a child of God, and every witness to guilt in God's creations is bearing false witness to God himself. Appeal everything you believe gladly to God's own higher court, because it speaks for him and therefore speaks truly. It will dismiss the case against you, however carefully you have built it up. The case may be foolproof, but it is not God-proof. The Holy Spirit will not hear it, because he can only witness truly. His verdict will always be, thine is the kingdom, because he was given to you to remind you of what you are. It will dismiss the case against you, however carefully you have built it up. This is what we're busy doing with our thoughts. We're busy building up a case against ourselves. And a case we're building up against anyone or anything else is a case against ourselves. Why is that? Because we've already built up a case against ourselves. We've already found ourselves guilty, but we find this guilt intolerable. So to distract away from it, we build up cases against separate things that are not separate. There are no separate things, but separation perception gives us the perceived ability to look somewhere else over there and see something else and build up a case against it. And the case against it is also the case especially for it compared to something else. So if I'm building up a case especially for something compared to something else, I'm doing the same thing. The same thing. I'm supporting the case against myself. No matter where I'm looking, no matter where I'm finding fault or specialness, I'm doing the same thing. But what does the Holy Spirit do? It dismisses the case against me and you and everybody, however carefully I have built it up, because it's entirely constructed of thoughts from ego, and none of that is real. We are eternally whole, pure, innocent, and as we learn to look at and remember that and keep our focus there, then what we're supposed to do here in this perceived situation becomes obvious to us. Okay. Let's see, paragraph 11. When I said I am come as a light into the world, I meant that I came to share the light with you. Remember my reference to the ego's dark glass, and remember also that I said do not look there. It is still true that where you look to find yourself is up to you. Your patience with your brother is your patience with yourself. Is not a child of God worth patience? I have shown you infinite patience because my will is that of our Father, from whom I learned of infinite patience. His voice was in me as it is in you, speaking for patience toward the sonship in the name of its Creator. So we are one with a Creator. We're not actually separate. And our patience with anyone we perceive to be else is our patience with ourselves. Your patience with your brother is your patience with yourself. This really helps me with the pause, where I'm accustomed to leaping into action for safety, where I'm accustomed to looking at a situation and attempting to control it for safety, my idea of safety, for attempting to stay within that. This applies to me to being with children and to the attempt to be in charge and control and micromanage, and the feelings that come up in there, and where I forge ahead in action trying to control stuff versus where I can relax into what we are together and allow the flow to carry us. So there's a lot to be learned. Your patience and unlearned with your brother is your patience with yourself. And this isn't about changing behaviors. It's about noticing thought. When I notice thought and when I let spirit undo where I've noticed pain and tension and stress, then the behavior is caused by the thought. So we can release ourselves entirely from analyzing, judging, and controlling behavior. But as we remember how we feel and notice what we were thinking in those moments when something seemed to be off. That's where Holy Spirit can do its work. Okay, now you must learn that only infinite patience produces immediate effects. This is the way in which time is exchanged for eternity. Infinite patience calls upon infinite love, and by producing results now, it renders time unnecessary. We have repeatedly said that time is a learning device to be abolished when it is no longer useful. The Holy Spirit who speaks for God in time also knows that time is meaningless. He reminds you of this in every passing moment of time because it is his special function to return you to eternity and to remain to bless your creations there. He is the only blessing you can truly give because he is truly blessed. Because he has been given you freely by God, you must give him as you received him. Infinite patience calls on infinite love, and by producing results now, it renders time unnecessary. So the miracle is a time collapse. Time is unnecessary, and yet as I still perceive time, it's a learning device. So when I'm in a situation where I notice that I feel stress, I can notice the thought I'm attached to. I can know I'm in dysfunction, and I can know there's help available for me now. I can find the willingness in my heart to accept help now. And when I do that, when I offer that thought to the Holy Spirit and ask for reinterpretation, I'm calling upon infinite patience. I'm calling upon infinite love. I've opened up to the time collapse. I've opened up to the miracle, which can handle everything for us. But backing out of, I'm in charge of this, I'm planning this, and I'm controlling this mode, I have to do that first. To experience the time collapses that every moment offers me. So it's mind training. It's learning to be in a different mode. It's learning to see what's most important, not any objective the ego has put in front of me, and maintaining trust and the help that's available for me now helps me see that that trust is warranted and to continue in the path of that trust. Infinite patience calls upon infinite love, and by producing results now, it renders time unnecessary. Okay, that was section 6 of chapter 5. Wishing you happy healing, happy unlearning, happy learning, happy remembering.